Welcome back to the class. This class we're gonna keep discussing section 3 of model test 3 of Barron SAT 29 editions. So it's gonna be the math section. Last time we have covered to question 10. I have a different version now, but let me just note it is a Barron SAT 29 edition. And I'm gonna put the link to the book in the description down below. So don't worry, test 3, and today we do section 3. So don't worry about it. So today we're gonna keep examining questions from 11 to 20 Barron SAT, because we try to finish that part first, okay, before we move on to do anything else. The link to the book is going to be given in the description, and please download it for further study, future study. Okay, so number 11, sorry, it's not number 11. Alright. So they asked about the area of a circle which is expressed in terms of its circumference c. Okay, so we know that c gonna be the radius, which is pi. Another is r, and you're gonna time with 2 pi, right? 2 pi, because well, the circumference is actually the product of the diameter in pi, but the diameter is 2 times the radius, so we can rearrange to have that equations, right? So now we know that, so we can figure out that r in terms of circumference gonna be c over 2 pi. Okay, and we also know the area of the circle gonna be calculated as pi times r squared, with the radius squared. Okay, so we're gonna be equal to pi times, okay, so r is, we replace r with what we have just found up there, so it's c over 2 pi and o squared. Okay, so it's equal to pi times c squared is c squared, and 2 pi squared is 4 pi squared, 4 times pi squared. So it's gonna be actually 4c squared over 4 pi, no, it's c squared, sorry, over 4 pi. C squared over 4 pi. So because there's a cancellation of pi on the denominator and 1 pi in the numerator, so it's a 11 is a, okay, yeah, all right. Okay, number 12. Okay, number 12. Okay, so GFK consisted of B boy and G girl. Add 3 more boys and 5 more girls. Choose random. One member to sing solo. What is the probability that one boy is chosen? Okay, so number 12 is a question about probability. So we know that the probability of anything at all, or at least most things, probability is gonna be equal to number of number of features divided by the total. So feature here, by feature I mean the number of elements which have that characteristic divided by the total number of elements. So okay, what do they ask here? They ask about the probability of a boy being chosen. So the probability, okay. probability gonna be the number of boy divided by the total number of pupil. Okay, so the probability here gonna be the total number of boys, which is the features, and divided by the total number of pupil, which are the total, so which is the total. So in this case, how many boys we have? We have b boy initially, and we added in 3 more boys, so the feature gonna be b plus 3, and we're gonna divide that by the total. So how many we have in total? We have b boy, g girl, and we add 3 boy and 5 girl in, right? Because that's what the question asks. So it's actually b plus 3 over b plus 3 plus 8. So the answer is D, right? So that's how you calculate probability. You just take the total number of features that satisfy what the question asks divided by the total number of elements. Right. Alright, now we do number 13. What does the answers? Alright. And 12 is D, yeah. It's D. Alright. So number 13. Number 13, we have a function where a, b, and c are constant, and they gave us an okay. So we have a function of fx, a, b, and c are constant, and we are given a second condition is that fx equal to xgx, and they ask us about the value of c. Okay, let's try to write it out. So fx 2 times a x squared plus bx plus c minus 3 times 2ax squared plus 3bx plus 3. Okay, so in this function we cannot find c because we have no clue. So at this stage, if we only use the function, we are not able to find c because there's no clue, right? So okay, but first of all we can simplify x first. So we gonna a 2ax squared plus 2bx plus c plus 2c minus 6ax squared minus 9bx minus 9. So it's gonna be equal to minus 4 ax squared minus 7bx and plus 2c minus 9. Okay, so with this information we still not be able to find out c, but we also given that fx equal to xgx. Okay, x of gx. So fx is actually the product of x and the gx functions. Okay, so they have asked us about the value of c. So let's calculate f0. So f0 gonna be 0 times g of 0, right? Because we just replace x with g. So but 0 times anything gonna be 0, so f0 gonna be 0. Alright, but we also have another way to calculate f0, which is we're gonna plug it in this formula, the formula of fx. So f0 gonna be equal to, okay, we're gonna just replace anything with x inside this formula with 0, right? So this is 0, this is multiply, and this is multiplied by 0. So anything multiplied to 0 though is 0, so f0 gonna be equal to 2c minus 9. And now you see that we can have an equation here. So f0 is equal to 0 as the implicit function fx equal to gx give us. And also when we replace x with 0 in the initial function of fx, we got 2c minus 9. So actually 2c minus 9 gonna be equal to 0 because it's all equal to f0, right? Therefore c equal to 4.5, right? So answer C. So this is an exercise about the implicit functions, which means the function is not exactly clearly calculatable, but have to be used through a intermediate functions like gx in this instance. So and the technique is very much standard. You just try to get some 0 or plug some 0 in somewhere to figure out what the question asks. So for this type implicit function, that's a general strategy. So implicit function. So if we meet extra exercise like this, I'm gonna keep discussing, okay? But we can show this exercise because of this function. We can replace 0 in and everything gonna become 0. So anyway, c equal to 4.5. Okay. Next, number 14. Number 14 is asking us about graph translation. Okay, so so they give us fx, right, the graph of fx, and they asked us about the graph of fx minus 2. Alright, so first of all, let's look up at the formula for graph translation first. So you can Google and search it, graph translation. Graph translation. Okay. Yeah, shifting, reflecting, and stretching graph. This one. Alright. And we're gonna have the formula somewhere. Not this one. Sorry. I remember I read it a couple classes ago. Here. So we have a general for translating graph like this. I want you to see, and then you have a here. Okay. Okay. So in this case, they are doing for one particular instance, but I can actually find some general translation, graph translation. Okay, so vertical translation, this one. I can find some general formula, so we can do something. Okay. So actually you can search for something called graph shifting. Sorry, I was this is quite the same as graph translation, and please go to the second link, course.lumen learning, and here's the link. So here, for a vertical shift, where k is a constant, we're gonna become to fx plus k, right? And for horizontal shift in our cases, it's gonna become f of x minus h, where h is a horizontal shift. Okay, and if h is positive, it's gonna be shift right, and if h is negative, the graph gonna shift left. So that's gonna be the formula we're gonna use. So okay, so in this term, fx minus 2, right? So this gonna shift right, because h here is okay. So let's look at the formula again. I'm gonna put the formula in the link here. So given function f, a new function gi equal to fx minus h, which h is a constant, is a horizontal shift of function f. If h is positive, the graph will shift right. So in our case, h is actually positive, right? So it's gonna be shift right, and it's gonna shift right h unit, which is 2 unit. And now let's observe our graph is now intersecting the OX axis at x equal to minus 3, right? So now if we shift 2 units to the right, it's gonna be intersecting at minus 3 plus 2, right? Which is negative 1, right? So the answer is B. So it's minus 3 plus 2 equal to negative 1. Okay? Because initially our graph is intersecting OX as x equal to minus 3, and now if we shift right 2 unit, it will be intersecting the graph at negative 1 minus 1. Alright, that's very good. Number 15. Okay, number 15 is not easy. A sphere and a cone have equal volume. If the radius of the cone is twice the radius of the sphere, what's the ratio of the head of the cone to the radius of the cone? Okay, so what is the volume of the cone first? Because we have to know the formula, and what is the volume of the sphere. Alright, so V of cone is gonna be equal to, okay, you can look up at the table that we are given up here. So it's 1/3 of pi times the radius going to be small r square times h. Alright, and V of sphere gonna be 4/3 times pi times the radius of the sphere cube, right? So the radius of the sphere gonna be big R, and the radius of the cone gonna be small r. Alright, let's see. Let's denote it that way. So they are given us that these volumes are equal, and we have in the radius, the cone is twice the radius of the sphere, which is r, equal to 2 big R. Okay, and they ask about the ratio of the head of the cone, which is 8, to the radius of the cone, which is this quantity, right? So they ask us to find out this quantity, right? Okay, so let's plug in the equation. We have V cone equal to V sphere. Right, so okay, so what we can derive from this? So let's just put the equation down. So 1/3 of pi times small r squared times h gonna be equal to 4/3 pi big R cube, right? like this. Okay. So now we see both sides we have 1/3 pi, right? We have an equation here, right? We have an equation here, and on both sides we have 1/3 pi, so we can get rid of 1/3 pi. Okay. So in this term we have r squared times h gonna be equal to 4. We will get rid of 1/3, so we have 4 left times big R cube, right? Okay. But we also know that small r equal to 2 big R, right? So we can replace this small r here with 2 big R. Okay, so 2 big R squared, so it's gonna be 2 big R all squared times h gonna be equal to 4 of big R cube, right? So it's gonna be 4 times r squared times h equal to 4 times, okay, let's do it this way. R cube gonna be r squared times r, so we have same 4r squared on both sides, so we can get rid of 4r squared on both sides because they are common factor. So we gotta have h equal to big R, but big R gonna be 1/2 of small r, right? So h equal to 1/2 of small r. So the radius of the cone is actually small r. So they asked about the ratio of the head of the cone to the radius of the cone. So h divided by r gonna be 1/2. 1 divided by 2, which is 1/2, and that's actually 0.5, 0.5 divided by 1, and that is 0.5 divided by 1. So in this case you have to look very carefully at the answer. It's not given as 5 divided by 1, but it's 1/2 divided by 1. Okay, so many students make the mistake that the answer is 5 divided by 1. Well, it's actually 1/2 divided by 1. So it's actually our answer is A. 15 is A. Okay. So it's 0.5 or 0.5 divided by 1, like that. Alright. Okay. Let's move on to number 16. During 2015, the 9-member Playa Vista Senior Block Club read a range of 52 books. When Mary, the oldest member, moved away, the average in 2015 of the 8 remaining was 42. How many books did Mary read in 2015? Okay, 16. Okay, so the 9-member read average 52 books. Okay, so sorry. During 2015, 9-member Playa Vista Senior Book Club read on average 52 books. Mary, oldest member, moved away. The average by 8 remaining members were 42. How many books did Mary read? Okay, so we know that the average of 9 first of 9 is 52. Okay, so the total of 9 members. So the total of 9 members gonna be just 52 times 9, right? Times 9 is 468, right? Okay, so when Mary moved, we had to subtract all the book of Mary have read during 2050. So we have the average of now is 8, right? So 8 people, 8 members. So we know that average of 8 member is actually 42, right? Right. So now you can find out the total of 8 member, right? Which is 42 times 8, right? Equal to 326. Okay, so we know that okay, so the difference between the total of 9 member and the total 8 member gonna be actually the number of books that Mary read, because well you know, she's gone, and we have to subtract that. So it's actually number of book that Mary read gonna be actually the total of 9 member minus the total of 8 member, because that makes sense, right? Because when Mary was there, it was 9 member, and when she's gone, 8 members left, right? So it's gonna be equal to 468 minus 336, and that's gonna be equal to 132. Okay, so the answer is number 16 is actually 132. Yeah, 132. Okay. Number 17. Okay. 17 asks about okay, let's read number 17. So they gave us 50 girls play intramural basketball and 40 girls plays intramural volleyball, and 10 girls play both sports. And they asked about the ratio of girls who play only basketball to a number of girls who only play volleyballs. Okay, so for this type of problems with the mutual set, so what is we are dealing with is a problem with the mutual sets. And this is a category of set theory. So we're gonna have to use something called a Venn diagram. Okay, Venn diagram. So it's actually something like this. Here. So of course you have seen the answer, but let's look at the answer here. So we gonna know that the vertical circle is pupil or student who or girls who play basketball. Okay, the big circle, the big vertical circle is number of girls who play basketball. Okay, and there's 50 of them. Okay, 50 basketball. The horizontal circle is denoting the girl who play volleyball. So 40 volleyballs. Okay, and the intersection of these two circles is actually the girls who play both, which the intersection are colored by red. Okay, so this red area is actually the girls who play both sports, so which is 10. Okay, they gave us 10, and we know that there are 50 who play basketball and 40 who play volleyball. Alright, so look at this diagram. We gonna denote the girl who play only basketball A, and we're gonna denote the girl who plays only volleyball C, as written here. Okay, so we gonna know that A plus C equal to 50 because there's 50 girls to play volleyball basketball. Okay, so A plus 10 gonna be equal to 50. Oh, sorry. So A plus 10 is equal to 50. Because the girl who only play basketball and the girl who play both basketball, that's the total number of basketball girl players. So A plus 10 is equal to 50. Similarly, C plus 10 equal to 40 because 10 girl play both sport and only C girl plays only volleyball, right? So C plus 10 equal to 40. Solve out the two equation, A equal to 40, C equal to 30. So A over C, which is the number of girls who play only basketball, to number of girls who play only volleyball, gonna be 4 over 3. So the answer is 4 over 3. So for this kind of set which has an intersection, which is a mutual part, you can use the method of drawing a Venn diagram like this. This thing is called a Venn diagram. So that's how you do it with a mutual set. Alright, so let's move on to number 18. Okay, 18. So the answer is going to be 4 over 3. And we're going to use a Venn diagram. Like that. But you should draw this quickly in your test because you will be time limited. So maybe you don't have time to draw it this neatly because you know, you just try to sketch it and figure out the numbers because you are time limited on the test day. So yeah, number 18. Okay, so on third on minus on half is smaller than x minus 3, smaller than 1/3. Okay. They ask for a possible value of 1 over x. Okay, so we can know that now here. X minus 3 is sitting between a negative number and a positive number, right? X minus 3 is positioning at a middle position between a negative number and a positive number, and a number that is between a negative number and a positive number is actually 0, right? So x minus 3 can be 0, right? So x is actually 3. So 1 over x is 1 over 3. 1 over 3. So the answer for 18 is 1 over 3. And in the answer, that's exactly we have here. Right. So you can choose many choice. You can choose anything like this, and you can take, you know, like whatever number between start and you reverse it, you know, find a reciprocal, and you're gonna get the correct answer. But you know, it look that neatly. The you know, the scorer, the judge, they're gonna if they see 1 over 3, they just give you the point, you know. Anything else, you know, maybe they in a bad mood, they can, you know, just tell it to be wrong. So you know, for safety, just put in 1 over 3. Okay. So because, you know, the judge, they may be in a bad mood, and even if you get a correct answer other than this, but it's not 1 over 3 and your answer is a little bit ugly, maybe they're gonna discard it, maybe not, but you know, for safety, just 1 over 3. Yeah. Okay, number 19. Okay, so 2 plus I is solution of a quadratic equation. What's the value of b? Okay, nice. X squared minus bx plus 5 equal to 0. Alright. So 1 plus I is a 2 plus I is a solution. So we know that I is an imaginary unit, I squared is negative 1, and we can plug it in, right? So because 2 plus I is a solution, 2 plus I is a solution, so we just plug 2 plus I into the equation, okay? So 2 plus I squared minus b times 2 plus I plus 5 equal to 0, right? Okay, so we can just expand the bracket as normal. So 2 squared is 4 plus 2 times 2 times, okay, so it's 2 squared plus 2 times 2 times I plus I squared. Okay, and okay, that's the first bracket, minus 2b minus bi and plus 5, okay, equal to 0. Okay, is there anything wrong? I don't think so, right? So 2 squared is 4, 2 times I is 4i, I squared is -1 as we have just write down here up there, gonna be equal to minus 2b minus bi and plus 5. Okay, what we gonna do now? Equal to 0. Okay. So we're gonna put something with I on side and something without I on side. So with this problem, I'm gonna put everything with B on one side and everything without B on the other side. Okay, so okay, but it's gonna be like this. So I'm gonna put this part on the left side and plus 5 on the left side, and everything with B I'm gonna put on the right side, so it's actually 2B plus yeah, like this. Okay, so on the left side we can actually have x plus 4b plus 4i equal to 2b plus bi, like this. Okay, so we can have a system equation like this, is 8 equal to 2b, right, because we have to match the coefficient. AB equal to 4, we have to match the coefficient, right, because so it's actually B equal to 4, right? So the answer for 19 is actually 4, right? It's 4. Alright. 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 So let's show number 20. Okay, so on the 20 they ask us about the measure of angle AOB. Okay, in radian. Okay, so let's look at those exercises one more time before we move on. 12. Implicit function. This 12 is just a probability exercises. 13 is implicit functions. Okay, and 14 is B, graph shifting. 15 is just cone equation and sphere equation. So H over R is by 5 over 1. Okay, 16 is calculation. 17 is set theory. 18 is just that. Okay, number 19. Okay, so 19 is just solving another equation about 4. Okay. Alright, so let's move on to number 20. Alright, what's the radian measure of AOB? Okay. So what is radian? So we have a circle, right? We have a circle here, and we have a center. Circle have a center. Alright, and center is O. Oh, Jesus. Okay, circle have a center. Okay, and it have two arcs, right? Yeah, it has two radius. It just draw a radius. Okay, whatever, it's just a radius. Alright, something like this. It's two radius, so the radius is gonna be R. Okay, just slow down, man. Too big. Okay, the radius is gonna be R. Okay, so two radius gonna make an arc, right? So the arc is this part. Yeah, this part between the radius is an arc. Okay, it's an arc. So it's an arc. Okay, and this is center. O, right? O is the center. Okay, so what is a radian? Okay, so you can see that this arc, this whole arc here, is actually corresponding to an angle, right? It's corresponding to angle. Okay, and we're gonna denote the angle alpha like that. Okay, so in this exercise we're gonna define what's a radian. So this is center O. Okay, let's write it by this thing color O. No. Okay, O. So there's a theorem like that. So not a theorem, but a definition of a radian is definition. So if the arc equal to R, then alpha gonna be equal to 1 radian. Okay, so that's all. That's the definition of a radian. So yes, so if the angle is actually corresponding with an arc which has the length of a radius R, then that angle is defined to have the measure of 1 radian. Okay, so let's have some examination first. Okay, we know that the total angle of a circle is 360 degree. The whole circle is 360 degree, and we know that that is corresponding to an arc equal to 2 pi times r, right? So what we know that 1 r is 1 radian. So 2 pi r is actually corresponding to 2 pi radian, right? So we can deduce that 360 degree equal to 2 pi radian. Okay. So similarly, you can figure out 180 degree is actually pi radian. Is pi radian. 90 degree is actually pi over 2 radian. And 45 degree gonna be pi over 4 radian. So that's about radian, something like that. So we're gonna just use the definition. If r equal to r, alpha gonna be 1 radian, something like that. So there was some special angle. So if 30 degree is gonna be pi over 6 radian, and 60 degree is pi over 3. Okay, something like that. But that is not for this exercise. Okay, that's just some general knowledge. Okay, so for this exercise number 20, so if arc equal to r, so we have to find out the ratio of the arc and r, right? We have to find out the ratio of arc and r, right? So in this case, we know the arc is equal to 2, right? And we know that the radius r is equal to 6, right? So arc over r is 1/3, sorry, 1/3, right? So we know that AOB is actually going to be 1/3 radian, like that. Okay, so radian is actually the ratio arc over r. Okay, so the answer is 1/3. Okay, this is a definition of a radian, and this is the solution to the exercise. Okay, so yes, so the answer is actually 1/3. So yeah, so r equal to r, the angle is 1 radian. Axis r over 2, so angle is 1/3 radian. So yeah, that's the end of the section 3. Thank you very much for listening. Yeah.